there, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about Buddhist Palm, and what the hell is this? This is from the new Shawscope Volume 3 box set. But yes, I obviously got it, so I got the first two. And here we go, I'm going to show you the cover of Buddhist Palm. And yeah, this is a very nice set, by the way. Lots of things here, lots of the pictures. The One-Armed Swordsman series, lots of nice extras. But I'm going into Buddhist Palm. I thought I'd show this off. One sec, but yes, back to the film. Buddhist Palm is basically a remake of some old classic Chinese romance and stories that were made into films in the 60s, but there were like 5 films made then, which they compress into one film for this film, which tells you a lot about the film, like why it's what the hell is this and why it's so enjoyable, because it's absolutely insane. It's like it's in fast forward. Even watching the film, you get a feeling of there's things missing I need to know to get, like, to understand what the hell's going on. It does remind me of Zoo Wars the Mountain, or Mountain whatever. you know what one I'm talking about. The that one where there's just the Zoo Warriors and they're doing all the crazy stuff, and it keeps on getting crazy and crazy, and you're thinking, what the hell's going on here? And that's another one where you find out it was a much longer story they've compressed, and it's like they seem to have cut out all this stuff that made sense. This one's the same, but I like this one more, actually. This one is just insane. It does feel like you've got a whole season of a TV show compressed into like 90 minutes, but it's just wonderful for just how bizarre it is, just how crazy it actually is. So essentially what happens is an old guy dies. He gives his disciple, what they call them in those olden days, he gives them powers. He's giving them powers of the different palm moves they can of magic. The guy goes off and calls him the Mad God, and he fights with these various people who are also powerful in this knowledge, and he ends up getting exiled after a certain point, and no one knows what happened to him. So then you cut 20 years later, and there's this young guy who's getting bullied. He's in love with a woman who's too good for him, and who's arranged to get married to someone who's a total git. Typical story. Then he gets into a fight with that git and gets thrown off the mountainside. So everyone thinks he's dead, but he saves a magical creature who takes him to this mad god character who teaches him the palm trick, because basically his idea is because this kid doesn't want to know it, that's why he's retaught it. There's lots of scenes like this in film that make no sense. It's like, he doesn't want to get taught it, so you're going to teach him it, but you haven't explained the actual reasoning behind that reasoning, and you never do. There's so many scenes like, why does this guy get in a fight? The guy gets scars on his face. Why does he get in a fight with this other guy who's obviously politically important? Why does that even happen? Why is he so... There's comic relief that introduced the film, who then disappear from the rest of the film, who are never seen again. There's just lots of things that just happen and are not paid off at all. There's other things that are paid off way down the line. It's like, kind of briefly, and it's like, it's a film that is like, it's a scene after scene of things happening, and you don't know why they're happening. It's just, you have to go along and go, okay, fine. After about 20 minutes, I was just going, okay, fine, this happened now. You've got the confusion. You've one actress playing 2 parts, and she plays the kind of princess woman who the guy's in love with and he's separated from, and then he runs into this woman who looks just like her, and I thought it was the same character, and it turns out no, it's 2 different characters. It's like, why is she suddenly calling someone else master when it's always the same actress? And it's That's a different character. Strange. Again, not explained. You just go, I don't get this, but who cares? We're ready with flying monsters and people shooting stuff in the palms because of a certain stances they can shoot down. Like, this is after Star Wars where you had lots of laser things. There's a sword that's green, just like Star Wars. It's just full on inspired by Star Wars, but done it in a kind of Hong Kong way of, we're just going to go to excess. Which is what you want in a Star Wars ripoff. You want excess. You want crazy. You want, what the hell am I watching? This film's got it in spades. So, the guy learns some tricks. He finds a golden egg that he takes back that heals. His master's blind, but he heals one of his eyes, his master, so he's only half blind now. But also heals his own wound as well. And then he has to go and find other things, and he ends up getting into fights with the 5 devils who are attacking these 2 women who are after this one thing for their master, who's obviously one of the women is the same actress who plays his beloved. She's very confusing. He had to fight with them, and then there's lots of other fights to find this thing and then get it back to the master and heal her. And then she finds out he's a disciple of the Mad God. She wants to fight him, and the Mad God has to come. There's another god-type creature coming who wanders around, who's always late, and he's talks in riddles. And he's a lot of fun, because in a normal film that'd be annoying, but within a film that makes no sense, he's the only person who makes sense because he doesn't make sense. So which makes sense for the film, really, because maybe he read the first script that makes sense, because nothing happens this film makes sense. Eventually he turns the woman and her sister to be on his side against their master. All hell breaks loose, there's lots of fights, people get split up as they do in these romantic stories. He ends up back to seeing his beloved, who is now married him as a child. His beloved gets killed, they have to look after the child, which of course goes to the woman, the character who's played by the same actress. It's so confusing. And there's lots of other fights, and end up, it turns out a lot of people are getting killed off who fought the Mad God in the first place. Now the Mad God has risen. Some of them actually want to talk to him and see if we want to avoid the fights, and the Mad God himself wants to avoid the fights because he realises it's stupid. But one of the masters doesn't, and he's going to kill other masters who disagree with him because reasons. I suppose in case they come against him, but they don't explain anything. It just looks like he's been evil and weird, and he's actually training the evil boyfriend who kicked the guy off the cliff in the first place. And there's lots of fights and weird stuff going on. And there's a long lost daughter of the Mad God as well that he has to reunite with. And there's lots of stuff. There's lots of people throwing kind of animated things that look like flames and things throughout the film, and people are jumping around, flying, and lots of weird stuff, and there's monsters, and eventually there's going to be a face-off between this guy with this evil old guy and everyone else trying to kill him. It's just absolutely crazy. As you see when you try and explain the plot, it's absolutely crazy. It does get to the place of everyone trying to kill the villain, as these films always will. But getting there, it's just like full of stuff that is like, can you stop and explain this in a kind of fashion that actually makes sense? Nah. We'll just have a fight, and you'll figure some of it out as you go, and we'll have these weird things happening, and you'll figure some of it out, and that's all you need. You don't need logic here. And it becomes really infectious and enjoyable, because it's like, I'm never going to figure out most of this film. And I'm sure I missed stuff that explained some of it, because after 20 minutes, my brain was out. I was no longer trying to follow it. I was just going, let's see what happens. I just kind of gave up trying to follow it. there was no point. Because it was obviously compressed, and then I've listened to some of the commentary and saying, yeah, it's compressed from 5 films. And it's like, yeah, we can see that. Like, things that should take 20 minutes get a scene that's rushed through. You know, our lead character progresses from knowing nothing to actually being an expert in about 20 minutes. He fights all these people who should easily defeat him, and he kicks their ass repeatedly. And it's like, when did you have time to train to do this? Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's just an insane film. But the actors are all hamming it up and having a good time. The Mad God's a riot. It's like, he's a supporting part. You wish he was the main part, because he laughs all the time in weird times and areas, and it's very theatrical. But it's obvious the actors having a lot of fun, and that is infectious. And you know, the weakest part of the lead actor, he's kind of, it's not really his fault, because he doesn't really have a part. He has scenes where he has to do incomprehensible things and have incomprehensible reactions repeatedly, and his character itself is a fairly kind of dull character. There's not much to it, and he has to go through scenes that make no sense repeatedly. So just watching this poor actor suffer through these scenes that make no sense is fun, but it's not exactly a character with much to do. And I've read in the commentary said the actor playing this part much preferred playing villains because they were more fun. He found these characters to be kind of boring, and you can tell he's trying to get through the film professionally. That's about it. But it doesn't matter because everyone else is hamming it up and they're insane, and it's so enjoyable. It's so much fun watching this insanity happen. And that's all I can just say. Just go watch this film. It's utterly insane, but you'll have a good time. It's not too long. It's like 90 minutes. It gets to the point by obscuring logic. But you have lots of things happening that are fun, and you have weird scenes where they're stuck inside a bell, a magic bell, and he has to use his weird kung fu to get out this magic bell, and it's like, most films would have cut this out, but I'm glad they didn't, because it's so strange. I'm happy to see it, and that happens all the time, and wherever he goes, there's always a strange thing happening he has to escape from. It's sort of like watching the old Batman series, but they're asking Adam West to escape from things that make no sense. It's like even compared to the original Batman, this film still makes less sense. So, yep, highly recommended in a kind of bizarre as hell way. This is just so enjoyable. As you can probably tell from my tone, it's so enjoyable because of all its defects. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you go see Buddha's Palm, because it's just wonderful. Right, bye.